Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review episode number 90. Yep, this time I'm viewing the 878th episode of the anime. The world is stunned. The fifth Emperor of the Sea emerges. And I'm also going to talk about the 938th chapter of the manga, A Woman's Secret. Ooh. Boy, I'm so happy with these two things. First, let's talk about which I looked up basically like what this episode adapted. It's going back to the old format of adapting half a chapter for an episode. Yes, first time in probably I'd say about 7 episodes. My guess is because the reason why this is my personal theory of why the last 7 episodes for Whole Cake were pretty much just adaptations of the entire chapter instead of like half the chapter. Probably because they wanted to wrap up this arc really quickly and not drag out as long as they did. So, yeah. Now we're on Revere. Finally. An arc that started last year, and it was a very short arc, roughly only 6 chapters. This episode, that's pages 2 through 8 of the manga of the chapter 200 of chapter 903. This episode, a majority of it is a flashback episode. Yes. Because it's the 20th anniversary of the anime this year, so why not have flashbacks? The episode starts off with Red Hair Shanks on an island somewhere in the New World. They don't see his crew per se, we do see him, and he is reading a paper. You don't hear what the article says until like halfway through the episode. Gets the first half of the episode, we go way back, at least 10 years prior to the events of the series. You see Luffy, you see how he gets the scar. First time it's shown in the actual series itself, because they generally have kind of skipped over this at times, where they just show it and then they just go to something else. Here they show from that point, and then they go straight to the bar, where basically in the same flashback, where Luffy is yelling at, first Shanks yelling at Luffy for cutting himself. They prove how much of a man he is. And of course, the mountain bands come in. Of course, they to basically drop booze on Shanks. And of course, Luffy upset about it. You all see him eating the gum gum fruit and him getting the powers for the first time. Yeah, not much has changed from this flashback. It's pretty much just the only thing they did change about it was the animation. They updated it tremendously from when it was first shown early on in the series, in the anime, anyways. Yes. It was a great idea for the anime to give this particular flashback a modern day update to it. And then, of course, they jump ahead 10 years later with Luffy just starting on his journey, wearing his original Part 1 attire, which was the red vest. I think it was, red vest, blue shorts, and sandals, along with his hat. And he's riding on his boat, and he basically punches. He does, the first time ever chronologically in a flashback, the first time ever he does the Gum Gum pistol, which he basically punches the local Sea King for, which is the same Sea King that also took away Shanks' left arm. Yep. And then we come back to present day, where we see that Luffy is relaxing on the Straw Hat ship, the Sunny, and the Ray can just randomly falls out of his pocket. Even in the manga, here's the thing in the manga, the thing just randomly shows up for a few panels. And that was it. I'm glad the fact it was discovered in Luffy's pocket, because I think in the manga, if I remember, they actually have it where it was sort of found in Sanji's pocket. It said here's found in Luffy's pocket. They try to transform this hilarious transformation. Like, think what happened with Luffy, and basically they do change the line. From the manga, it says shooting lasers out of their eyes. In the anime, it's shooting lasers out of their hands. That's what they want to do. And of course, Sanji is so anti-science stick, and of course Nami brings up the whole thing of her baton, which they have the weather technology and the weather stuff, and Usopp's technology, and Zeus comes out, and they do change the wording of the line from the original manga, where Zeus says he's Nami's slave, and Sanji says, "I was her slave first." Yeah, they do change it from slave to servant. Yeah, I don't know why, but they do. And, of course, you see Brooke in the episode. And, of course, Carrot gets her hands on the paper. And they print what happened basically what happened during the the hellish tea party where they mentioned Luffy, Sanji, Jinbei, and Benj, and they called Luffy the mastermind, and of course him proclaimed the Fifth Emperor, and of course everybody's reaction, including Crocodile. You see him briefly, first time in quite some time you've seen him, because this is probably in the anime's point of view, this is the first time since first time since post-war that he has shown up. Yeah, first time also post-time skip he's shown up, along with the Admiral of the fleet. He shows up in this episode as well, making his also first post-time skip in the anime. They don't show Blackbeard. Yeah, I think they show Blackbeard briefly in a quick little 1-second tease, but unlike in the manga, he actually says one line. In the anime, he says nothing. In the manga, he said, like, when they mentioned Luffy being the Fifth Emperor, he says he's not ready for that yet. Yeah, in the anime, he doesn't say anything, which is quite bizarre. I don't know why, but yeah. We also see every else reaction. We go to Alabasta, see their reaction. Not Fishman Island. They're basically their stuff basically set for this arc Nothing for Dressrosa. We see like a lot of the Air Kingdoms, their reaction to it. Of course, the whole Straw Hat fleet is outed, and they mention the whole thing about the Sun Pirates, the German 66, and the Capone the Capone pirate, the gang pirates being under Luffy's sort of control in a way. That's what they mentioned in the article. They mentioned a whole boatload of stuff. Like a lot of stuff that was basically made factoid in the second half, toward the end of Whole Cake. Like a lot of stuff. But the whole fleet thing, that was pretty much established in the two arcs for Whole Cake. That's when that happened. So lots of exposition here. And we have we see Shanks is he doesn't have a line per se, he just basically says something before the episode ends. I'm like, he says in the manga, he says, now Luffy's ready. Excuse me. Yeah, and we also see that for the manga, this was not changed. I'm glad this wasn't changed. Where we have the royal family, they're all ready to go, and then Shirahoshi's like, I want to go too. But it's like, and if I was like, we've been waiting for you. And I thought it was so funny the fact Shirahoshi's like, come along. And the fact they show Fishman Island, all the fishmen and all the mermen and mermaids all got straw hats. Thanks to Jinbei. And of course they also mentioned that they're happy that Jinbei has joined Luffy's crew. They mentioned that. And of course that portion would set up their portion of the episode would set up the arc itself. They also showed new images in the opening titles. Some stuff that happened later on in the manga. In this particular arc, like showing the empty throne, we see Revolutionary Commanders, see them for the first time in the anime. Well, in the opening titles, they do appear in the episode itself. They showed like several new images. I was very surprised they did that. Because the last time they did that was actually when they, if I remember correctly, the last time they did this where they show stuff that hadn't been adapted yet, like Luffy's fight with Katakuri in the opening titles. They actually did this just prior to changing the song. The opening song, Superpowers. Because it plays out pretty much the same, except of course they added new images, which that's great they did that. I do appreciate that. Also, Benj himself shows up in this episode briefly, doesn't do anything. He's still on a tart ship. But I kind of thought that his last appearance was in basically going off, but this is technically his last appearance. I'm not sure when he's going to show up again, but yeah. The one of my personal highlights of the character seeing first time in a while was Crocodile. Yeah, it's the first time I've seen now. Like in the manga, he does not say a word at all, which I'm kind of glad they don't do that. They also show the bartender from Luffy's hometown, Windmill Village. Miko show her child for the first time, that's quite something. That's something that's never been shown in the anime before. But yeah, really good episode. I'm looking forward to next week's episode, which looks like it's going to be partially looks like once again I have a flashback. This time to the pilot episode of the series, which has Luffy meeting Sabo for the first time. We see a flashback of that. Which I'm looking forward to seeing that. Because, well, Sabo's coming back in next week's episode, so why the heck not? Yep. So now on to the newest chapter manga, A Woman's Secret. Yep. First in the cover we see birds playing with Crocodile because he's made of sand, so why the heck not? chapter starts off with picking up with Zoro's fight with these swordsmen, which he actually wins, though he's actually badly wounded. He takes a couple of them. We see Kinemon just worrying about the fact discovered that someone has leaked about their info. So one of the officials decided to just have anybody who has the symbol has to be arrested immediately. Yep. We see the Shogun briefly in this chapter, and then we cut to Episode Town where Nami has pretty much beat the living crap out of Sanji. And my gosh, this is hilarious.
Awesome, right in here.
Okay.
That's how much the case I live.
Okay. I'll be out there soon, really, okay?
Okay. What are you doing?
Recording a video.
Again?
Yes.
Really? Okay. When you head out then.
Go on. Shoot.
You cried.
Anyways, yeah. Nami is the one who did this because apparently Sanji peeped in the girl's bath. This shouldn't suspect your friends. And he's like, you didn't see anything. Yeah, how you explain the bloody nose? Yeah, and Frankie's like, how many times did you have to hit the person's face in the head like that? Looks like about 20 times. The last time I was facing like this was actually during Whole Cake. Those brothers did that, and we see Trafalgar Law arguing with the female ninja. Oh, what's going on with Luffy? Oh, leaking. Yeah. We see Usopp in the shed the first time in a while, and then we see the painter ninja, the painter samurai. See him in the chapter, like Kaidro, and apparently this woman knows him somehow. And we see Zoro basically patched up by the woman he met in the last chapter, and she thanks him for saving her life. And of course he tries to leave, but can't leave because he has wounds. Like heal soon. About toad oil, and they talk for a little while, and then she reveals who she is. She's Hira. She's Mochiki's sister, as in the pervert, as in the little boy, as the 8-year-old pervert. Yeah, this is his sister. Wow, he's got a smoking hot sister. I wonder if Zoro's gonna get lucky. Who the heck knows? But this good chapter. It's a bit Luffy wasn't a chapter, but this one was just basically progressing the story forward. Yeah, it didn't feel like there was dragging it down. It basically was just dealing with the effects of the previous chapter. But at least that the whole thing with Zoro and his fight with the two bandits, that was actually quite interesting. And seeing him get patched up by a beautiful woman, and of course her telling him that she's the sister of the little boy who traveled briefly on the straw on the something. Yeah, I'm gonna give this chapter roughly a 9.5 out of 10. It's a really good chapter, and I can't wait for the next chapter. And it does not look like that the series is gonna take a break. It does not look like that, despite the fact it's released 4 chapters. So maybe we can release one more chapter before Gon's break again. Who the heck knows? Okay. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my review of the 7 Deadly Sins, new chapter of the manga, along with news episodes of Dragon Ball Super and Boruto. Yep, producing next review. Bye.